Hey everybody, it's Jason with Investing Unscripted here, and this is my next in a series of videos taking a look at some of my favorite stocks in my portfolio, how they did in 2023, and looking at 2024 and beyond. And today we're going to talk about Shopify, one of my favorite stocks. It's been a huge winner for me, and it's one that I just want to keep owning more and more of. But before we get into the details on Shopify, this video is sponsored by The Motley Fool. If you're looking for even more great stock ideas, go to our special link. The Motley Fool is going to give you its 10 best stocks to buy right now. You're going to want to check that link out after watching this video. Okay, we're going to do the same thing here as we've been doing with this whole series of videos, and we're starting off a little bit of hindsight bias. We're taking a look at the stock performance over the past year, and we know Shopify has been a huge winner. It's gone up a ton since the beginning of the year, and it's gone up, just absolutely been rocket fuel over the past 6 weeks or so. It's up 122%. But because I love raining on everybody's parade, let's have a little bit of context here. Let's add another year. Let's go back to the beginning of 2022 and see how Shopify stock is done. Woof, down 45% still. How about, let's go back a little further. Let's go back to the beginning of 2021. Still down. Let's go back to even before, all the way before the pandemic. And there we go, finally. But the point is, this is a stock that has been incredibly up and incredibly down over the past several years. So what's a person to make out of this stock today? Why is it up so much in the past year? Why is it still down so much from where it was? And there's a lot to the story. I think we'll start with talking about what Shopify does. And at its core, it's a company that kind of unlocks access to commerce. Primarily, it's been known for providing small and medium-sized businesses. The SMB target has been its core opportunity. Whether you're just trying to build a web commerce store, whether you're an existing brick and mortar business and you need to bolt e-commerce onto your business, that's what Shopify does. They provide the tools for you to do commerce. Whether you have existing brick and mortar retail, you're only going to be online, some mix of both. Now, it's also a little bit of a myth there about Shopify just being for small and medium-sized businesses. Of course, the largest number of customers that they have are small and medium-sized businesses, but they also do tons of business with enterprise. They do business with brands directly as part of their omni-channel strategy. They do business with anybody that wants to do commerce and provide wonderful, powerful tools. Now, what they're not is something that they tried to be. They tried to also get into the logistics business. And we look at that stock chart, the stock price absolutely came down so much. A big part of the reason for that decline was the company started moving into logistics. Now, they moved into logistics saying, we need the full suite of services, provide the tools for customers to compete with the Amazons of the world. We need to be sure to have the entire suite of services. Now, here's the thing. When they did that, interest rates were still pretty cheap. But the stock went down a lot because you're going to make a really high margin, high cash positive internet software business. You're going to bolt on a business operating trucks and warehouses, taking out big loans to buy that stuff. Why are you going to take this perfectly high margin, high profit business and bolt a really tough, low margin business onto it? The market was not favorable. Now, I'm going to give management of this business a ton of credit. Two things happened. One, interest rates started to move up substantially, and their core business growth really started to slow. They said, you know what? Cost of capital is moving up. Core business is slowing. Let's pull back. Let's refocus on what we're really good at, and let's stick with that. They made the decision. They pivoted in less than a year. They sold off the logistics business that they had acquired, moved away, signed a really good partnership with the company that was acquiring that logistics business to be a partner for Shopify's customers. Honestly, it's the best of both worlds because they were able to move away from that business that was going to be really tough. Let's be honest, they're not Amazon. They don't have Amazon scale. They were able to move away from that business and focus on what the core of their business is. That's one of the things that's helped the stock go back up a little bit over the past year, but there's even more. The big thing that's happened is that the business has started to recover. Growth has started to recover, accelerate a little bit. That's got investors coming back and saying, getting really interested in this business. So put all those together and you say, okay, growth is accelerating. That's good. Generating positive cash flow. Definitely another really positive thing. Now, what about going forward? Has the best money been made? Should investors even really be looking at Shopify right now? And I think the answer is a resounding yes. I'm going to pull up a couple slides here from the company's most recent investor day. Same caveat that I always give when I pull up these sorts of slides. I'm going to have a critical eye. You don't want to just take it at face value. I will tell you this, there's a massive margin of safety built into the potential market size that the folks at Shopify are putting out in front of us. So again, they really tried to paint the story in this presentation that this is not just a company for small and medium-sized businesses. This isn't just a company for small and medium-sized businesses doing business on the internet. This isn't just that and a little bit of enterprise. They have a really massive addressable market, and they have tiny 2% penetration in their core geographies, which is basically North America, 1% global penetration for a massive serviceable, addressable market that they have out there. So they provide a little bit of information about breaking it up. But again, really the key here, this is not just an e-commerce story. There's a tremendous amount of tools folks at Shopify have to power commerce broadly. What do I think is going to happen as we move into 2024 and beyond? Shopify makes money in two ways. Number one, they make money with the base monthly amount that they charge to the merchant customers. This is for access to Shopify's different platforms. So depending on what level of customer you are, you pay a certain amount each month for the Shopify suite of tools that you use to manage your business. Now, they also have other services that are more of a revenue share where they get a take rate. They get a percentage of revenue, gross merchandise volume that flows through the business. So what I don't know is how much the revenue, that the fees that all add up to equal the revenue for Shopify, I don't know how much that's going to grow this year. Like I said, we saw a little bit of a reacceleration, particularly in the second half of 2023. Are we going to see that continue in 2024? I don't know the answer to that. I would hazard to guess that growth rates are probably still going to be somewhere in that 20%, mid-20s range, and should consistently grow at that sort of a rate for many years to come. Because again, we're still pretty early in the transition to e-commerce on a global basis and getting more and more tools in the hands of its customers. As they take more customers on, the customers get more involved in the ecosystem with Shopify and add more and more of the payment tools and marketing tools Shopify has built for its customers. Its share of the total revenues should grow at an even faster rate. So that's my general take, is I think that 2024 and beyond, I think this is going to continue to be a wonderful growth story. Now, what about the stock? Who knows what the stock's going to do in 2024? There's so many different factors that come into play, and it's still voting machine in the short term. Market certainly voted that it likes what it's seen so far in 2023. Hasn't been very favorable coming off of the exuberant peaks that we saw back in 2020 and 2021. I do think that it's a reasonably valued stock. It's not cheap by any stretch of the imagination. If you think about its growth rates, the high margins that it generates from the services that its customers pay for, how sticky those services are for the customers, and how once they come to the Shopify platform, they begin to add more and more things. I think we're going to see that story to continue to expand. Those customers are going to come to the platform. They're going to love it. They're going to expand with it. They're going to be successful in part because of it, and they're going to use it to leverage up and to continue to grow their businesses. It's a wonderful story of small commerce becoming big, people changing their lives with the wealth through the power of capitalism. This is a company that sits right in the heart of that. Then you start bolting on things like AI, which they're just starting to roll out, things like AI chatbot tools and things like that their customers are going to be able to use. There's a tremendous amount to like about the future of Shopify and its ability to take more and more market share around the world. That last slide, I want to share it one more time. Again, this is no promise of future results. As much as Shopify has grown, it still has a very small piece of the global commerce pie. And I do think it's going to continue to take more and more share of it. You buy the stock, you hold it 5+ years. That's what I'm planning to do. I think investors are going to do really well with Shopify. I think its future looks really bright. You're going to get a 100% gain year. I don't think that's going to happen. It could even fall. But I do think investors over the long term are going to be very well pleased. Shopify stock is in their portfolio.